Welcome to the Sisterhood Tea Party, where we get together weekly to discuss all the tea about life, relationships, pop culture, and generally anything you'd chat about with your best friend over a cup of tea or beverage of choice.
We're your hosts, Stephanie and Jessica, and we've been spilling the tea to each other for more than a decade, and now we're ready to invite the rest of you to the tea party.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are y'all?
Doing good.
I'm so excited to be here.
We're excited to have you here, friends. Today, we have a special episode for you all. We've invited another guest to the tea party, Liz, aka the Midsize Optimize.
Hi. I am so excited to be here. I am so excited to be in this space with you guys. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Yay, we are so excited to have you too. Just so that everybody knows who you are, Liz is a fashion and lifestyle-based content creator with an Instagram community of over 14,000. Her content focuses on mid-size and affordable style options. Plus, she shares other lifestyle tips like makeup, building confidence, and alternative hair options. And personally, Liz and I have connected maybe about a year ago or so as we were both trying to build our communities. And I am just so amazed by how much you have grown your community. And I just absolutely love all your motivating content. And so welcome to the Sisterhood Tea Party. We're so happy to have you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm really, really excited to be here and I've loved watching the podcast. So I'm super excited to be here as well.
Yay. Awesome. Well, as you know, first we always do a what's top of mind for us segment. So Stephanie, do you want to kick us off today with what's top of mind for you?
Yes, I will. So like a few days ago, I went to my I had a sweet life experience at a baseball game, the Rangers here in the Dallas area, and I had so much fun. I was shocked, low key, because I was not expecting, I don't know what I was expecting. I knew suites were like one thing, and I've toured that facility before. So it's at Globe Life Field. I've been there before for like events for work and things like that, but I've never actually experienced the suite life while a game is going on. And so we were in the Lexus Club or something, like very fancy, very bougie. Oh yeah. So I had to go through like a separate elevator, and like they checked badges/tickets at every single stop. I mean, it was intense. So then I get in there and I'm like, oh, is it one of these suites that are within the club? And my friend was like, no, it's like back here. So we're walking back to like a private suite, and it's just like away from everybody else. And it's huge. I was like,
Oh,
this is bigger than my apartment. Like, what's going on here?
that's awesome.
Yeah, but it was really cool to experience it. Like we were right there, like on field, and got to see the game. We lost terribly, but it was still fun regardless.
It's baseball. There's a lot of losses and it happens.
Yeah.
But what all was included in the suite?
Oh gosh. Okay. So when you walk into the club itself, they have a ton of food. Like they have appetizers, they have
For free?
pizza, they had for free.
Oh,
To be fair, I don't know how much these people are paying to be there,
right.
but I didn't pay for anything. Okay. I experienced the
That's the
bougie life.
That's the
It
best
was
way.
free. It was free regardless. Okay. So they had a ton of different food there. They had this carving station. They had like salmon, chicken, steak, like all of these things. So of course I got my little plate. But I was like, I have to continue to indulge. So I got a plate, and it was like nicely, plated with like salmon, potatoes, broccoli. And then I went back and got pizza and bratwurst because it's fine. I was like, I don't know what to do with all this food.
That's awesome.
But the drinks were free. And then within the actual suite, they had more drinks, water, wine, soda, popcorn, candy, couches, more than one TV. I mean, it was just like laid out. There was also they had their own private bathroom in the suite as well.
Wow.
Real
Wait, and
fancy.
so are the
Yeah.
seats in the suite? Like, is it like up above? Because I feel like I saw a picture where you were like down by the field.
Yes. So they have two types of suites, I guess. So they have the ones that are like above and you're seeing everything. But we were like field level, like
Wow.
right on the field. Oh yeah. Like you could see the dust kicking up. Yeah, that close. And I got a foul ball, but I didn't actually have to work for it. Well, I didn't work for it. The guy at the end of the game was like, here. I'm like, okay.
Wait, like the player
Thanks.
gave it to you?
No, I think somebody who was like working
Oh,
the
okay.
field just like came
I was
over
like,
and they're
okay,
like,
so you got a free suite and the player talked to you? Okay.
no. The players long gone. I was, searching, but no, nowhere to be found. So, but I had a great time.
That is amazing. I love it.
Yes. What about you, Jess?
Well, there's no surprise here. Top of mind for me is the Tortured Poets Department and all things Taylor Swift. Everyone knows I'm a huge Swiftie, and I am just obsessed with this whole album. And like every day, I feel like I have a new favorite. I bought the record, and so my night routine is I always put a record on now. I say always, I just got this record player like a month ago, but like I'm obsessed. So like I put my record on and I do my night routine, and then when I'm driving to the gym, I listen to it, and just like any chance I get, and I'm obsessed. And I don't know, I just like it's just fun. I'm just like I love all the records that she's broken with it, and I'm just glad to have good music. Like I just feel like between her and Beyonce's album, I'm like, this is just like a great summer. We have like exciting uppity music, and then we have like sad
Mhm.
girl music for like all moods now. It's great.
Yeah, we're covering all the moods. What is your favorite song off of the album? I
I
know,
feel like
sorry.
it's hard, but I love Do It With a Broken Heart. Like I feel like any woman who has like worked hard in their career, which I know all of us have, like
Right.
can relate to that song. I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, you have those like freaking days where you're just like, I'm
Yeah.
heartbroken in whatever way it is, not always relationships, but just like going through stuff. And you're just like,
Yeah.
I'm doing my job and it's so
Yep.
great. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I like the lyric when it's like, I cry a lot, but I'm so productive. It's like
Yes,
so sad, but I feel like every woman can relate to that in some aspect where they
Yeah.
they hit that wall. So
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
Do
very
you guys
true.
have a favorite? Like, have you guys listened to it and have
that's
a
a tough
favorite?
one for me too. So I'm one that like I fell in love with it. I feel like the second or third listen. Like the first listen, I was like, I think I was like, I don't know. I guess because we came off of Midnights, I was like, I was like, I don't know. And the second time I listened to it, I was like, I love this. Like
Yeah.
every song is so great. I think I don't know. I feel like Down Bad is such a good one for like the gym or like when you're walking or whatever to get you like kind of hyped up. So
Mhm.
I like Down Bad a lot. I think right now is my favorite. But I'm with you. I have a lot. I like The Alchemy. I can do it with a broken heart. So I like a lot of them on there.
What about you, Steph?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm still working my way through the album.
That's
31
huge.
songs. First of all, I was not prepared for that. I
Wait,
woke up
what?
to a text from multiple texts being like 31 songs, and I'm like, okay. So
31's a lot.
31's a lot. Right now, Down Bad for sure. I think
Okay.
I like that one.
Hmm.
But I'm taking my time with this one. So I'm still listening. I'm on the second listen right now. So I will report back on my favorite. But right now, I don't have an opinion. But that is
I feel
my
like
favorite so far.
we need to put a poll of like which song should be Stephanie's favorite song.
That's fine. I think
Oh,
on
my
the
friend
so much
Corey,
pressure.
she will know. She and I have talked about this. Corey will know. Corey,
Oh yeah,
she's
she's the big
listening.
Swiftie.
She is. She is. Actually, that entire friend group, they're all Swifties, so
Oh
I
man,
feel
they'll
like
choose for me.
you
I love
better
them.
listen to these songs fast. 31.
I know. There's so many. Well, to be
So
fair,
many to go.
I am going on a drive tomorrow. I'm going out of town tomorrow, so I will pop that on.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
sounds like some positive homework to do while you're en route.
Yes, I agree.
I love it. All right, Liz, what is your top of mind?
So I have been getting into a TV show, which I'm actually not a huge TV person, but I have been getting into Under the Bridge on Hulu. And I'm only about 3 episodes in, but it has my attention completely hooked. And I it has my attention so enraptured that literally I will sit through commercials just to watch it, which I don't sit through commercials, but it has a great plot line. It has a great cast, and it's super well acted. I believe it's based on a true story. It's got mystery. There's a lot of like character development throughout it. So it's just like a really good show, and I am tuned in nightly. So that is top of the mind for me right now.
Wait, what is the show like about, like at a high level without spoilers.
I know I was trying to think of how to describe it without being a spoiler. And I feel like there's not a really good like overview way, but I will say it's like a true life Mean Girls meets true crime
Oh,
meets mystery. And it's set in
Oh,
Canada, so you get beautiful scenery as well. So I feel like
oh,
maybe that's like a good way to describe it without giving anything away or spoilers. But
that's
um,
helpful.
yeah, it's a really good show. I really like it.
wow. I'll have to check that out. I'm rewatching Vampire Diaries right now, so I can't adopt any new shows, but that is officially on my list now.
Vampire Diaries is on mine. I think I told you it's been on mine for a while. I need to watch it.
Amazing. Well, let's get to the main segment then, which is basically us interviewing you because you're amazing and we have like a million questions for you that I think everybody wants to hear about. But maybe just kind of like starting off, tell us a little bit more about your content creation journey. Like, how long have you been doing this? Like, what led you to start this?
Great question. And first of all, thank you. That is so sweet. And I think the podcast is amazing. I think you're amazing. I think Steph's amazing. Um, I would say it's kind of an interesting journey. When I started this, getting into content creation, really the reason for me was my entire life, all the way up until I hit about 32, 33. I kind of hovered somewhere between like a size like 2 to like maybe a size like 6. And somewhere around the pandemic, and as you know, we get into our later 30s, my body changed, and I kind of found myself in this weird world of trying to find what was going to work for me. And I found that I was making a lot of purchases that weren't working, and I was sending clothes back. And a lot of the businesses that I was looking into that were size inclusive, the prices were incredibly expensive. And I just couldn't figure out how to kind of consolidate the value for kind of fashion items that I really liked. And I also couldn't find people that looked like me in clothes. And so I started my Instagram account as like a little hobby. I started kind of taking pictures of my like outfits of the day. And when I first started, it was like, no joke, it was me, my mom, and like 2 other people that I knew. And so I was like, oh, cool, we're just going to hang out. This is my community. Like, this is where I live now. And my mom was like, love it. Like, so like that's how I started out. And, you know, I thought that was just like where I was going to be. And the longer that I stuck with it, the more amazing people that I met that were kind of in that same journey of, you know, finding their fashion sense, bodies changing, mid-size, plus size, embracing curves, you know, body positivity, body neutrality. And it was so inspiring and cool. And that's kind of been my journey to date. It's just kind of this like slow ramp up of, you know, where I am. And this is way further than I thought that I would ever grow. And very blessed to have met like all these incredible people along the way.
That is amazing. How long have you been doing this too?
So I've been at it about a year and a half. And I probably, and I will say the whole time I've done it, I need to get better. I have never had like a content planning in mind. Like I've never had like these days I'm going to post. I need to be better about it. But in that year and a half, I've never really had like a content plan. That's kind of on my list of things to do moving forward, like into this year. I haven't gotten to it yet. But moving into the next few months, that's kind of on my like things that I would like to get done. But I kind of just I was shocked at how I kind of put up content randomly and it seemed to resonate. So I love that. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah. And do you do this full time? You don't do this full time, right?
I don't. So I actually am very lucky. I have a career path that I absolutely love. But I'm able to work remotely. So it allows me the flexibility to, you know, shoot my content, edit it. I also kind of work this around my business hours and like take care of it at lunch or in the mornings. And so I'm kind of able to engage with the community like early in the mornings. And I'm a really early morning person. So that's when I'm able to get a lot done. And then in the afternoons, once I'm done with the business day as well. But yeah, that flexibility really helps me to be able to kind of work around it.
Love it. Amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible. I love that you're able to have that flexibility and be able to balance it too. Because I
Yeah.
mean, how do you balance that? Because sometimes I know from others that I've, spoke
Yeah.
to in the past, it gets to be a little bit overwhelming. So how have you found
Yeah.
ways to balance that?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. Um, so it's funny. I love that you asked that question right now because up to about 10 to 12,000 followers, I had it down to an art where I was like, I got my system, I have my steps, this is what I'm going to do. And as it continued to increase and like the comment flow was coming in, and then my content creation needed to be at a certain level. And then I'm reaching out to, potential new people asking questions and things. I was so excited about that. And I was like so stoked to have all of this interest and to meet all these amazing people. But it did get to be to where I was like, okay, how do I balance this around my work life as well? Um, so one of the things that I really have to do for myself is I have to plug in for a certain amount of hours, and then I really have to keep my phone away from me. Like when I'm focused at work, I really have to be all systems go. And I really have to have my phone far away because it's kind of hard to try to balance both at the same time. And I am a person that thinks they can do it at the same time, and you can't. So I have to keep my phone away while I'm during work hours, and then on breaks, before in the morning, and then in the afternoons. That's fine. That's my Instagram time. But I do have to set those hours. But that's a great question because I did hit that where I was like, I had it down to an art, and then I hit a certain amount, and I'm like, I don't got this. so, so
That's very real.
it's just the truth.
No, and I love that. That's amazing. And I think that's so helpful for people wanting to kind of maybe jump into content creation and figuring out how they can balance the two. So moving into that, so with people that want to jump into content, no matter what it is, what advice do you have for them specifically?
I think the best advice that I could give anybody, and Jess, I've seen it from your content as well, is I think that if you get into it with the intent that you're passionate about it and you're really get into it where you're like, this is fun. Like I have so much fun with this. I'm passionate about it. It's awesome. I love it. It comes through, I think, in your content in that you really are excited about what you're doing. And whether one person is following you or 1,000 people are following you, when you're really excited about what you're doing, it really doesn't matter because you're into it. You're having the time of your life because you love it. And I think that that's contagious and that energy catches and it resonates. And I think that then you meet other people that are in that same vein that are super excited to be there, that are super passionate. And I think that's how the community comes to be, is that you just meet those people along the way as it builds.
Yeah, that's incredible. I think that kind of leads into building out your own community. You start with that passion and let that exude. So I
Hmm.
appreciate that.
Hmm.
I love
Yeah.
that because your community is so active. Like I go on your page, like your page, because I look at you to inspiration too, and I'm like, oh my gosh, her comment section is completely blowing up. I'm just like blown away by how active your community is. It's really cool to see.
It honestly is. It's amazing. And I can't tell you like how blessed I feel that like the people that are following too are just as amazing as the comments that they're writing. Like I talk to incredible women from all walks of life doing incredible professions. And I just feel honored to like be in their presence. Like I'm like, this is so, and it inspires me to be better, to do better. And then also too, it's like when I'm producing content, now I'm not just thinking, okay, I'm doing this for me. It's like, I'm doing this for these incredible women that are going to be looking to this as well. So it does make me want to do better and be better. And how can I consistently improve? Because I want to move that needle for them too, So they inspire me every single day to just be like a better human. And I do really, really appreciate the community that I have. And I thank you for saying that. They're amazing.
I love that. Also, what is your favorite kind of content to create? Because you do like, I mean, you have
I
like a
know.
base content you create, but you do different kinds.
There's a lot of like different types, and that's the thing that I'm saying is like I do feel like you just have to be like, I'm just gonna like if I feel it and this is like what I want to do because it's hilarious. Like my content, there is no rhyme or reason. It's like that CD that you put on that you made in like 2008 where you burned it and now you're listening and you're like, this is like lawless land. That's my page. Like I have a friend and she watched one and she was like, I love it that randomly one day you took us on a budget walk of a discount aisle that you found at Winn-Dixie. She's like, that's you though, where you're just like, do you guys know that Winn-Dixie has a dollar aisle? Like here it is. And I don't know. I feel like the type of content that I like to make kind of differs day to day. I I really like sometimes those sound bites that I find that I think are so funny, and I'll get so many giggles, and then I'm like, oh, I want to share this with my followers too, because I laugh for 5 minutes straight at this and rewatched it 3 times. So like I like that on certain occasions when I'm in like a silly mood. I like the still photos a lot. I would love to be able to do like all these amazing reels, and I'm just not technically savvy enough to like figure it out. And I feel like for me, the still pictures come out really nice. And I also really like the reels. I will say I really like when I do budget wig reviews too, because that's the first time I'm trying it on. So I'm seeing what it looks like on me in real time as you guys are seeing what it looks like on me too. So it could either be like a major win or a major fail, and you're going to see it in real time, and it is what it is.
Right, that's
So,
amazing. Well, so you started to talk about like your like kind of how you started on this journey and your interest in fashion and trying to not seeing people who looked like you and really trying to find your fashion voice. So like what are fashion trends now that you love and fashion trends that you hate?
okay, so one that I absolutely love, and I'm going to admit to you guys that I tried it, and it's a no for me, but it looks gorgeous on a lot of my friends, and I think it is so super cute, and I wish I could pull it off, and I can't because I'm not cool enough. Is I loved the trend that was going around with the men's boxers as shorts. I thought that was so cute, and there were some really cute ones with like gingham print, and I loved it, and I tried it here, and I
I
can't.
didn't even
But
see this
Wait,
trend. There's
wait,
no
yeah,
way I could do this.
Pause,
yeah.
pause, because I've never.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why
No,
my
it's
face.
super
Okay.
cute. I'm telling you, because they're like the boxers that are like gingham print. So think like picnic, tight. It's really cute. Picnic cloth, it's cute.
Like they wear them in public or like as pajamas?
No, I think it's like I think it's maybe a public.
Hold
I
on.
don't know.
I'm Googling.
Yeah.
Hold on. Men's
I saw a bunch of
boxers.
posts of people that are my friends, and they looked so adorable and so cute. And then I thought I could do it too, and I can't.
Oh,
But they looked so cute.
Oh my gosh.
okay. I
I
pulled them
hate
up
wearing shorts.
on Old
So.
Navy. I
Yeah.
mean, they're cute.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're cute. I could see
I
maybe like wearing like a white
That's
or
what they
like a
did.
top.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what they did. It was like a t-shirt. And so it's like almost think like cutesy pajama as day wear. Like a cute. So I was thinking, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna try this for myself as well. And this is gonna be like a super cute casual outfit of the day. And then I did it and I looked at myself and I was like, you can't. They can. You can though. So that was one of those, unlike the wigs, where I was like, nobody needs to see this in real time. This is a me experience. So I'm going to save this for me. But I will say that was one trend that I thought was absolutely adorable. I just couldn't pull it off. And then my hate trend actually is one that I love now, but when it started, I hated it. And my best friend had me turn the tide, and I'm actually wearing them now, is because I graduated in 2010 from college. Like for me, there was no other jean but skinny. Like you would have to pry my skinny jeans out of my cold dead hands. And so I was not experimenting with anything else. And my best friend was like, the times they are a changing, like, please, like, can I just get you to experiment with another jean, like any other jean? And my best friend will like tell me exactly how it is. And I love her for that. So I went and I got a pair of mom jeans at Walmart, and I took a picture and showed her. I was like, these look so silly and ridiculous on me. And she's like, they look great. Like, just do me a favor and wear them for like a few days and see how you feel. And now they're like one of my favorite pairs of jeans. Like, I love them. I like reach for them when I go out. So I feel like mom jeans were one that I used to hate, but now I love.
Amazing. And this is how the
Amazing.
pipeline starts, because now you've tried the mom jeans. Next thing you know, you're gonna have the wide ones. You're gonna have like
I don't know.
the bow-legged ones.
It's a slow. I don't know if it's gonna be like a slow trickle like that for me, because like I'm still stuck on this. And I will say I tried to go boyfriend, and that one I wore for a few days and I'm like, I still look ridiculous. Like I can't. So I don't know. I think it's gonna take more than a few days to get me there, but maybe. I'm not a no, but I'm a slow maybe.
That's so funny. Yeah, I think we all went through that phase of resisting the skinny jeans, but I did
I
drop
know.
them maybe like a year ago or
You
something.
dropped them all?
Yeah, I have
Nothing?
no
Yeah,
skinny jeans.
You dropped them too, Steph? Like
I
nothing,
don't
nothing?
have them. The
Oh, I
closest
see.
thing I have are straight leg right now.
Same.
The
Okay.
straight, but the straight leg look good with like I have Nike Blazers and I wear them with that and I think they
Okay.
look nice. But I also really love flare jeans or
Me
wide
too.
leg
I
jeans.
actually, okay, I'm with
So
you on that. You're
mhm.
talking like fitted to the knee
Fitted
and then
flare.
the, okay,
Yes.
I do like those too. I have my eye on
Yes.
a pair at Walmart
Yeah,
actually.
girl.
Yeah.
Get it. Get it right
Yeah.
now.
Cause we also grew up like, or I'm saying I grew up where it was like in high school, I did wear like the bell bottoms, like the flared, like, and so that feels familiar and comfortable to me. But the mom and the straight were something that I'd never done before. So
Mhm.
Yeah. No, yeah. The trends always circle around, right? Like I literally remember before skinny jeans and we would
yeah,
wear like the taller Uggs because now like the
yeah,
short Uggs are in. So the taller
yeah,
ones we would like wrap around our ankle,
yeah,
like shove them in our boots,
yeah.
you know, and then
I,
skinny
Mhm.
jeans came
yeah.
and they like saved the day.
Yeah, I saw one of your posts and I was like cracking up where you were like, I'm looking for these trends to come back. And one of them was like the shrug, and one of them was like the wrestler belt. And I'm like, I wore all of those and I love them. In fact, I held on to all of those things for a ridiculous amount of time, waiting for them to come full circle, and they never did.
Yep.
They
I
probably
feel that.
will. I literally have a
Yeah.
bag I need to take to Goodwill, but I'm like, but what if these scarves come back
Right.
in style? Like,
Yeah.
what if?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that happened to me. There was a purse that I had and I was like, "Oh, I don't really love this." And I literally put it away. And
Yeah.
then a couple years later it comes out and I'm like, "Wait, I think I have that." And I like
Yeah.
dug through and I was like,
Yeah.
so you just never know.
Have you guys seen the clip of the girl that walked into Old Navy looking for an infinity scarf, and she asked the guy if he had any, and he was like he didn't know what they were, and I felt so bad for her. She was like breaking down her explanation. I'm like, this is I feel you. I know exactly what that feels like.
Oh man.
Yeah, the infinity scarf was like a staple in my
It
outfit
100%. Yeah.
Oh, that
The
had me
every
like
infinity
day.
so
scarf had a
cold.
moment. Yeah, it had a
Yes.
moment there for a while. And your shrug, the reason your shrug comment got me is because I'm not kidding you when I say, I mean, I think I had a shrug up until about 2022. Like I really held strong. I was like, come on, they're gonna come back, right?
Hmm. I mean, that's how I felt about infinity scarves because I was a scarf girly.
Same.
Like scarf for
Well,
every
why wouldn't you be?
occasion. I,
Every color. I
my
probably had like
every
20
color.
scarves.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had colors, floral, prints, everything. I would mix and match. I
Hmm.
thought it was so cool. And I'm like, ooh, girl.
Oh, you
Well,
were. For the time, you were.
For the time, actually, I did slay. You're right. I did slay.
that's the
During
thing.
the
You have to
time.
be time specific because you can't look at an
That's
outfit from
true.
our standards now.
That's fair. That's
It
true. I did slay back then. I'll
you
show
know,
pics later.
yeah, that's the thing, is that you have to take it for what it was, because I know there were times when I went out to the clubs in my like 20s, and I felt like I was looking so fresh, and like I look back now and I'm like, what were we doing with that? Because I was in the era where when you went to the club, you dress like a corporate office employee for a Fortune
Yes.
500.
Same.
Okay.
Yep. That was
Yeah.
us too.
Yeah. So like I'm definitely there. So I look back and I'm like, I looked like I was clocking in for my shift. Like what is
Meanwhile, it was like 11:30 p.m. and we were like,
right?
all
You're
right.
like, I'm about to
Hammered.
close this place down. In my shrug.
Oh my God. I cannot.
We've talked about, you know, your experimentation with jeans and how you kind of went through different things that you loved and hated in terms of fashion trends. So, what advice would you give to people that are kind of wanting to play around with their style a little bit more?
I would say life is short. Wear the heels, wear the shirt, try it. You will never know unless you give it a try if it's something that you're going to be comfortable with or end up loving, just like I ended up loving the mom jeans. I think that life is a fashion show and it's all about having fun and expressing yourself through fashion and figuring out what works and what doesn't. And so I say try it all and just have fun with it.
That is such great advice. I love that.
Truly. Truly. I'm like, I want to
Thank
go
you.
shopping now.
I know.
Yeah,
Now I'm like, let's go spend money.
right. I know. That's always my idea too, but you know.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I think that is it for this. So thank you, Liz, for answering all of those questions. It was amazing. It was a pleasure getting to like learn a little bit more about you and your content creation journey and learn a little about of your fashion experience as well. So with that being said, we're going to now move into our podcast game. We're playing under or over, so AKA underrated or overrated.
Okay.
So the idea for this, I have listed out a random set of things, food,
Okay.
whatever, and you're just going to simply say if it's overrated or underrated.
Okay.
Sound good?
Okay. Sounds great.
Let's do it. First
Okay.
one, Lululemon leggings. I'm going to pass it to Jess first.
You want me to be controversial? No.
I do.
Yeah, I'm gonna say major overrated. And the Lululemon girlies might come for me when I say this, but I've actually never worn a pair. However, the price tag alone makes them overrated. Like, I'm sorry, I can find Marika is my favorite brand of leggings. They have the best tummy control. They're so comfortable and they're squat proof if you get the workout ones. I absolutely love them. And I'm like, what possibly could something with that price tag do that is different from what I'm getting here? So maybe if you get a sale, cool, but like very overrated. It wasn't that spicy, right?
It's not that spicy. It's not as spicy as I had imagined it would be. Liz, what about you?
I am a very frugal person by nature, and most of my comment points to that. And so for me, I actually have to be with you, Jess. I've never had a pair myself, and I don't think that I will, just in the sense that I think that the price tag is just really, really expensive for what it is. I also love my Amazon leggings. Same thing, great tummy control. I can go to the gym in them. I love my Odoto's leggings, like great brand to work with. Love them. Just, I think they're a little too high in price for me. I'm gonna go over.
Completely fair.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. They are overrated. However, I also will say I own 2 pairs of Lululemon. However, I did not buy them. Okay. So
Yep.
I won, see, and I don't buy anything apparently. So with
That's the way to go. It's
We
great.
need an episode on tips to not have to pay
I
for
know.
things.
I want to interview you
Yeah.
about how to not pay for anything. That's my
Well,
next question.
for this particular one, I won a contest at my gym. So it was a $500 gift card to Lululemon. So I was able to
Okay.
go in and buy $500 worth of product, which is only 5 things. So it's not
Only
really
five things.
it's only 5 things for $500. I'm like, oh, and that's like what put it in perspective. I'm like, this is not it. I wear them. They're not my best leggings that I own. Actually, the ones that I love the most are my Fabletics leggings.
I've heard such
Um,
good things about Fabletics. I've heard
yeah,
like amazing things.
right now I think they still offer that 2 for $24
Yep.
for their leggings.
Mhm.
Like, and I think they're great. But yeah, I would agree Lulu is overrated. Even though I own like a couple of pairs of leggings and stuff
Mhm.
like that, but I wouldn't go. I mean, I would not spend my own money, and my friends know that. So,
Mhm.
It's kind of like when we discussed the Stanley Cup before. It's like, am I gonna
yes,
go am I gonna go fight someone in a store for this? No. If someone bought it for me, would I use it? Sure. But like,
absolutely. And that's how I feel about Lulu. If someone bought me, which I have like a couple of Lulu bags, would since people bought them for me, yeah, I will wear them. But that's probably about it. So, or I'll go online and find like dupes and
Yep.
use those.
Yep. I love that too.
Yes. All right, friends. Next one, guacamole. Underrated or overrated? Liz.
Ooh, that's a tough one. So my husband went on this kick for a while. I'm sorry, like I gotta just do a quick backstory, but my husband went on a kick for a little while where he was like so anti-avocado because he was like claiming that it got too hipster. He claimed that avocados had a moment and they got like too, and now he's like all about like guacamole and avocado. And so like I have to roast him. So instantly when you say that, I want to say over. I do love guacamole, but I just want to say over for that reason specifically because he had his little moment. But I do really love it. So I guess I'll say under just to be fair.
That's completely fair.
that is incredible. I hope you call him a hipster every single day now.
Every time he eats one, I'm like, how about that time when you had your rant? So yeah, I do.
Yep.
That's amazing. I guess I can go. I will say it is overrated. I don't like guacamole. And I don't like avocados. Like I've tried, I'm like, I actually feel a little bit of FOMO about it because I'm like, am I really a millennial if I don't like guacamole? But I just
Oh,
don't like
What's
it. I don't
happening?
like it. I'd just rather have my salsa and queso, and that makes me happy. So
Now
it's
if it's
overrated.
queso or guac, I'm
mm,
going queso all day. And bring me
Yeah.
two.
yep. I would, yeah,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
time
Yes.
it'll be
100%.
queso.
And it doesn't even
Yeah.
really have to be good queso to be good queso. Just like whatever you got is fine. I'll eat it.
To be, that's true. You know what? I've never actually had a bad
That's what I'm
queso now that I
saying.
think.
It doesn't,
Yeah.
you've probably had ones that are better than others, but even if it's a
Yes.
bad one, it's still going to be great.
It's still gonna, it's cheese. It's melted cheese. You
That's
know?
it. How can you mess that up?
Really,
You
any good
can't.
cheese is great.
You can't.
Right. That's true. Um, for guac, honestly, I feel like it's, oh, I feel like it's rated appropriately. I like it, and I think I learned to like it, and I like it on certain things. Like avocado toast, I thought was
Yes.
the most ridiculous thing ever. Until I tried it and I was able to kind of like mix and match different things that,
Mhm.
you know, with my taste profile and things like that. So it was nice to experiment. Really love it. And also at La La Land, the coffee shop, they have this avocado toast that is amazing. It's like this truffle burrata toast.
Ooh,
It is
that sounds
chef's
so
kiss.
good.
So
Sounds so
I really like that. And of course, at Chipotle, you know, I always ask for guac.
you
It's
have to.
extra
You
because I'm
you
also
got to.
extra. So
Yeah. And I'm a frugal person, as I mentioned, but I also do the same. So
you
I'll
know what I
spend the
mean?
extra few dollars. Yes.
See,
Absolutely.
I
So I
have
think
FOMO now. I'm like, I want to like it. I just don't. I don't know.
I feel like if it's made fresh, I think it's better than like anything store bought or, you know, things that have been sitting around. But if you can get it made fresh, I feel like you may appreciate it. But if you just don't like avocados, then maybe not. But that's
I
okay,
know
friend.
it is. I would say I could get it to where if it's a texture issue, you probably
Yeah.
because it guac is that same and it does
Yeah.
have a very specific like texture to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll try it again and I will report back on.
I love that we're inspiring you to like
That's
give it
fair.
another go, another guacamole go.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, moving now into our next one, Las Vegas. Is it
Viva
underrated?
Las Vegas. Sorry, I had to do it.
That's fair. I appreciate that. Is it underrated or overrated? I will go first. It is overrated, 100%. So, to be fair, I'll give some context. I went to Vegas for the first time in my life in 2021. It was for a work trip. I know, I know. But I went there for the first time in 2021, and I was like, this is it. It's dirty. And it was hot at the time. And I was like, this is not as like exciting as I thought it was
Hmm.
supposed to be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I expected, but like I was like, this is kind of underwhelming to me. Like I was like, this is
Yeah.
not cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we made the most of it, like our, you know, my coworkers and I, but I was like, I wouldn't go out of my way to go unless I had a friend that would be, actually my friend Kathleen would be like, what? Um, if she plans it, then I would go because she's a
Right.
planner and she knows all the things. So I would go for that, but I still think it's a little overrated. So, but yeah. Jess, what do you think?
Major overrated. Right there with you on all those. I have been to Vegas probably like 12 times at this point in my life. When I was a kid, when even like before I was 21, my parents would go, we'd go for a weekend or something. Obviously you don't get to really experience it as a kid, but like even as an adult, I went. I was there for my 21st birthday, went several times after. I think it's cool when you're 21. And after that, it just kind of goes downhill from there. It's so corporate. And I think like I'm just over the touristy corporate kind of vibe of places. Like when I travel, I want to go do like the local stuff. And like you just don't get that in Vegas. And I also just like don't drink like I used to. So like, and I don't gamble. So it's a no for me. My husband always wants to go because he's big in sports and he does sports betting for a living. And so he's always like, oh, Vegas, and it's always cheap to go. And I'm always like, you can go with your friends to that trip because I'm gonna stay home.
I'm out.
You're
I'm
like, no,
out.
thank you.
Yeah,
Uh,
Liz.
it's me. Okay. I am with you, Steph. I actually went I got a top performers award from one of my workplaces, and they were like, we will like send you and your husband to this trip. You can have like this amazing hotel suite. It's in Vegas. It's over Super Bowl weekend. You'll go to Club Tao for the Super Bowl party. Like this is your like reward. And my husband and I, number one, are terrified of crowds. And number two, we are very frugal. So we quickly realized that Vegas was just like between the two of those requests on Super Bowl weekend was like not ideal. So we're like running for our lives from the crowds with like our little like mini bottles of vodka to our hotel room. We're like at the door, just like, so like I just don't like I don't feel like it's my scene. Also, one funny thing, my husband is actually a huge Lady Gaga fan, and she was in town that weekend. And so he was like all excited to look for tickets. And like, I don't know what in this man's mind was like going on, but when he looked at prices, for some reason, they were like spectacularly more than he thought, which I don't know what he was thinking they would be. But as a result of that, I feel like he was so down about that too. And it was just like kind of the collective. Also, we went to the party, which was cool, and it had like bottle service and the bottle girls bringing out whatever you wanted and food and all this great stuff. But I actually worked in a department where like I had to be on alert, and these were my colleagues. And so it was like I literally stayed for like an hour, and then I was like, bye. So it kind of just missed on all cylinders for us for that reason. And we're also really big like nature people. So I just think the man-made aspects of it and so much artificial stuff everywhere, it was just a lot of sensory overload. So I say all that to say overrated 100% for me.
Yeah, that's valid for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I love it that we both went on work trips though. What is that about? Where we're like
I don't know. Well, for this one, after everything reopened with COVID, this particular conference was scheduled in Vegas. They're like, we're so excited, bring everybody here. And then that was also a super spreader event. So that was cool.
but
Thankfully
it
I did not
it
get sick, thankfully, but still.
it feels like though Vegas is like the antithesis of work, right? Where it's like I I don't know.
Okay, but doesn't
Yeah.
it also feel so like old school boys club to send your
100%.
your colleagues to Vegas for their trip? Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
that gives me the ick actually. I don't like
I
it.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I was kind of laughing too because I'm like, because I'd worked for for this particular place for a while, and I was kind of like, gosh, I wish I could have just like, I know this is so nerdy, but I'm like, I wish I could have just like maybe stay home or maybe get like a little mountain cabin with a little river and like I
I
don't know.
mean,
Totally.
So
that would have been nice. That would have been
yeah,
really nice.
and it was so nice of them to send me. It was just so far away from like my personal interests. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Totally.
completely fair. Completely fair. All right, y'all. The last one for underrated, overrated will be true crime podcasts. Liz.
I am a huge true crime podcast fan. I listen to them all the time. It's probably not normal how much I listen to them. So I am going to say they're underrated. There's some that are amazing that aren't out there, and I literally will talk to anyone about what my favorites are that has that interest in the true crime podcast. I'm always posting them on my Instagram. Like I just love them.
Love it.
Okay, wait, you have to tell us your favorite now.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my
drop
gosh.
one name.
I will definitely. I mean, I'm gonna give a couple, but like Up and Vanished was incredible. The narration has this incredible narrating voice that like takes you on the journey. And it was about a beauty queen in Georgia that went missing. And it was the whole season of investigating this cold crime that had been cold for like 10 years. And he just did an incredible job of like taking you on the journey, and it was amazing. And then the second one that I liked was Your Own Backyard, and it was about Kristen Smart and her disappearance. And that was also a cold case that they helped shed some light on and get it like reignited. And in both cases, they were actually able to provide answers for the family, which is amazing. So it's just like you go on this ride, and then at the end, you're like so happy for the families that finally get some answers. So,
Well, for me, I don't listen to true crime podcasts, so I don't want to give a rating because I don't think that's fair to say if it's underrated or overrated. But low key, they scare me. So like, that's probably
No, all my colleagues are
so.
when I recommend them, all my colleagues are like, what's wrong with you? Because this is the fourth one you've recommended. Please stop. Maybe change it up just a little. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I can't get into it. No, they're not for me, but I can appreciate everyone else that likes them, but it's not my thing.
I hear you. That's fair.
I will say that they are appropriately rated because I feel like they've got to be like the most common podcast listened to, right? Like I feel like everyone's into them. I personally am not huge into them. I've listened to Serial years ago when that one came out. And I started Dr. Death, but then they wanted to charge me to keep doing it, so I decided to watch the show instead. I do like true crime like TV shows when there's like a moment, you know, like when all of a sudden everybody's talking about this true crime, like and like it's like a pop culture moment that I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this. I gotta know what's going on. Like the one recently about like the lady, I can't remember what it was called, but where like the lady was abducted and then they thought it was the boyfriend and then they thought she faked it and it was like Real Life Gone Girl.
Oh, I know it. Oh, yes. I just watched that. It was on Netflix. They did a Netflix special too.
Yes. I don't remember what it was called, but that like everyone was talking about it. It kept popping up on Netflix. I'm like, okay, I gotta watch. But I'm not like, that's not gonna be my go-to podcast. It's not gonna be true crime. I'm with you, Stephanie, and like it stresses me out and it gives me nightmares and anxiety.
I don't know why my husband always like teases me about it too, but like I don't know why it provides me the calm. Like that shouldn't provide you the calm, but I don't know. I just enjoy them. And he definitely like makes jokes with me all the time. He's like, I am not you. Like he got like a complimentary like insurance policy. He's like, you're not the beneficiary. I'm going to tell you, you're not the beneficiary. So
you know too much.
Yeah, it was like $100. I'm like, shucks.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, that was so fun. Thank you for playing our podcast game with us. So we like to end every single episode by sharing the last drop of tea for the day.
Yes. And before we do that, we just want to thank you, Liz, for joining us at the Sisterhood Tea Party. And before you go, we want to ask if you would please spill the tea for today.
Absolutely. So today's tea is going to be one of my very favorite quotes, but one that I think is always in style and one to always live by, which is nobody can ever make you feel inferior without your consent. And that is by Eleanor Roosevelt. It's one of my favorite quotes, and I think it is in style every day.
I'm obsessed with that. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys so much for having me. This was so much fun. I really appreciate it.
We had a great time. Love it.
Bye.
Bye.